quite typical in the UK as they are in America. A company here in the States is facing a lawsuit, which is Uber. Surprise, surprise, Uber is in the news again.
Yeah. So let me break it down here because this has been a culmination of lawsuits after lawsuits against Uber. Like first it started with workers suing Uber saying like, hey, you don't consider us workers, you consider us contractors, and then the government decided to back them up. And then there were contractors who started canceling rides for disabled people because they would take too long. There was a San Francisco lady who was blind who had a guide dog who was who has had 14 different ride denials by Uber workers or contractors, as they like to say. She won a lawsuit of $1.1 million, and the new one that's coming out against Uber is over their wait time charges. So whenever you take longer than 5 minutes to get into a vehicle, Uber will begin to charge you per minute. It's 60 cents a minute. And the lawsuit comes from a assistant attorney general. I don't remember what state they're from, but basically it's alluding to the fact that, hey, these charges do not help at all, and it's kind of discriminatory towards the disabled people, and it's against the ADA Act, Title 3.
Yeah,
so that
Americans with Disabilities Act.
Mm-hmm. So per law, they're required to assist and make accommodations for them, and these wait time charges do not look good. And Uber's going back and forth and saying like, hey, we those don't count towards disabled people, but how can we know, right? Like if you're charging them and then refunding them, you're basically taking their money and giving it back to them, making them wait longer. Like that money could be used somewhere else.
So the Assistant Attorney General that's taking this on is Kristen Clark for the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. To answer your question from earlier.
Thank you.
I Googled it for you.
Thank you.
That's pretty fucked up. I mean, I guess what would be the solution here? Would it be like when you sign up for Uber, do you have to acknowledge your ADA status, or is that illegal to ask? Is it a violation against HIPAA in that case in order to get that accommodation, or what does that look like?
I think that they have to submit paperwork to Uber providing proof that they require accommodations, but even then, Uber is still treating it like oh, this isn't an us issue, this is a contractor issue and we'll take care of it. But I mean, how about you treat your contractors like they are your direct workers?
I mean, I guess they can't, because they have the ability to say no, I don't want this ride, or no, I don't, I'm not going to do this particular run. Mm-hmm. But where does the line of discrimination come in? If you see somebody with a guide dog or something like that.
Yeah.
And here's something that could be done is maybe not submitting paperwork and everything to, Uber, but they can, whenever you sign up, what if any help? What's the word I'm looking for?
Accommodations,
thank you.
Gotcha.
What if any accommodations would you need? Do you have the animal that rides with you each time? And then make sure that when the drivers sign up, have the drivers say, oh, I can help with these accommodations. I allow these specific or, certain animals. Because what if they're scared of snakes and somebody has an emotional support snake? It's a thing.
That's true.
Really?
But also I'm seeing another side of this. So if you have a disability and it's going to take you longer than 5 minutes to get from where you are to where you're meeting your Uber, and Uber has the 3 minutes till arrival, 2 minutes till arrival.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's rude of me to be like, why don't they just start moving earlier? Because I don't agree with the 60 cents per minute. I would, waiting more than 5 minutes. Sorry, I have to cancel because, oh, look, there's another ride. But if that person says, oh, I have this accommodation, this is why, it might take longer, then it's like, okay, that makes more sense.
Well, yeah, I thought about that too, but specifically, this is targeting people who one, have wheelchairs, and two, the blind. Like, blind people can't just move to the spot where the car is going to be. Like, they have to wait till the car gets there, and then their dog kind of helps them there. And that was the issue with the San Francisco lady who won her lawsuit. She was denied rides because of her dog.
Yeah, I can understand some people not wanting, a dog in their vehicle. What if then my next passenger has allergies and they're severe? Yeah. You've got to look out for each and every person.
Yeah, I totally agree. But there's no real like middle ground to an issue like this. That's kind of the problem here. Like, what can Uber do?
I do agree with Keelan that like some personal responsibility needs to be put in there. Like, okay, I know that it could take me up to 20 minutes to get from my building to the meeting place where I pin my pickup location. So like you can also schedule your ride ahead too. But as far as like drivers openly denying service, like that's not okay. I'm pretty sure people with disabilities, their last resort is probably taking an Uber, because they have doctor's appointments to get to or places to be. And, they deserve the same respect and dignity that, able-bodied people have all the time. Just because you're differently able doesn't mean you should be treated differently. However, personal accountability piece also kind of goes in there too. I hope that Uber has been like waiving these fees, like 60 cents per minute. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
That adds up for sure.
And what someone could also do is open a rideshare just like Uber, but it's aimed towards people with wheelchairs or large scooters. Because a lot of the times the Ford Focus coming down the road isn't going to be able to accommodate somebody in a wheelchair because of the bulk. And but that is also the personal vehicle or the vehicle they've leased for this position.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I forgot to mention that the 60 cents charge is only for Uber Black and Uber SUV. So not necessarily applicable to the smaller vehicles, but yeah, no, it's still a valid point.
Typically, like if you have a wheelchair, you probably would need to request a vehicle that's large enough to accommodate your needs and stuff.
Yeah.
And what if you're not able to get out of your wheelchair? You would need either a ramp or a mechanical unit on there, which a lot of Uber cars aren't going to have.
Yeah. As contractor, and I think this is where the sticky part of it with like Uber and how it does its business is they're contractors, right? Like they don't have to require them to take, whatever accommodations needed for every sort of rider. And they have the ability to decline it. So yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how this lawsuit plays out. I was doing some Googling and I saw there's a couple forms on there for people to fill out if they have experienced that same thing. So I wonder if it'll turn into another class action lawsuit like the assault one turned out to.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up another great episode. And don't forget to join our amazing and supportive community on Discord.
In our Discord, you can find game nights, watch parties, food pics, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. What's not to love about that? We have a little something for everyone. Head over to our website, officialmillennials.com, and you'll find more info, especially our featured gamer of the week.
Speaking of something for everyone, we have a book club. We read a book almost every month and talk through it together. We also have a special perk for our subs to discuss other books in a series called Chapter 2.
Don't forget to swing by YouTube and drop us a follow at Official Millennials. You can also find us on Twitter at MillsOfficial. We appreciate all the support, and y'all have a good one.
This is an Official Millennials production.